Hi, you made it just in time. We're on at 10 seconds, sugar. Don't you sugar me, Buster! What's wrong? Nothing? Well, Susan.
Stand by. Good evening, and welcome to our evening news with everyone's favorite anchor couple, the Mr. and Mrs. of the evening broadcast, Susan and Brad Henshaw.
Hello, and good evening to all. That big communication breakdown at the cell phone company tonight is the main story. The company spokesperson has stated, as soon as I've found out what is causing the problem, I can better determine how to solve it. Susan. Thank you, Brad. I have no intention of discussing the matter at this time, stated State's investigator Jay Spoonman. I will do whatever is necessary to make sure the filthy liar gets what he deserves, Brad. Storm warnings and an icy front is coming. And those sailing into dicey waters are advised to use extreme caution. Susan. Stick it in your ear is this year's theme at the Hearing Aid Manufacturers Convention. The convention is sponsoring free hearing tests to make the public aware of things that have been going on behind their backs for far too long. Back to you, Brad. In court today, immoral conduct charges against Councilman Stevens were dropped due to insufficient evidence to support the accusations made. Back to you, Susan. Thank you, Brad. National Secretary Week has started, and all over the nation, secretaries are being kept hopping from luncheons and dinners as satisfied bosses shower them with gifts as a way of saying thank you for all those little extras they perform all year long. Any comments on that, Brad? I always say there's nothing like a good secretary to keep a man's affairs in order. Unless, of course, it's his lovely wife. Divorce rates are up 23% this year. This 5% increase over last year's has been attributed to unfaithful, middle-aged husbands who are insecure about their masculinity. Brad, I'm just as good as I ever was. I'm just as good as I ever was, proclaims ex-Olympic weightlifting champion Derrick W. To celebrate his birthday, Vardanyan pressed 650 pounds, thus proving a man is as virile as he is allowed to be. There you have it, Susan. There was a lot of hot air around today when the annual upstate balloon races were held. The festivities got off to a hopeful start, but failed miserably when poor air circulation caused many to land due to loss of momentum. All's in your court now, Brad. Psychologists at Northwestern University have determined that aggressive women who insist on competing for men's jobs tend to suffer from an acute lack of femininity, grace, wit, and general loss of sex appeal. It's all yours, Susan. A scandal that could ruin a career rocked Hollywood today as actress Sandra Bullock, and now she is divorcing her husband of 5 years. Her hired detective uncovered a hotbed of information that could lay waste to an otherwise impeccable reputation. She was quoted as saying, "I will stop at nothing to make sure he never works in this town again." It's up to you, Brad. Guilty on all charges was the plea taken by Joe Kennedy, city planner, indicted for conflict of interest today at City Hall. The truly remorseful Kennedy threw himself on the mercy of the court, screaming, "I'll swear I'll never do it again, Susan!" Come home, darling. All is forgiven. Reads the message on a prominent billboard in the downtown area. We track down the man who ran the ad, and he offers a new mink coat and a diamond ring to his estranged wife as proof of his sincerity. That really is hard to resist, huh, Brad? All your demands will be met. Said management as the health workers' strike was settled today. Well, Susan, that's all I've got. That concludes this evening's news. Please stay tuned later this evening when I'll be hosting for Housewives Only. Tonight's topic, infidelity, making his guilt your gain. This is Brad and Susan Henshaw wishing you a triumphant good evening.